Would you rather always have to sing instead of speak, or dance everywhere you go, even just to the bathroom?
Oh. I feel like if I danced, I would be more fit. So, maybe that. Because, like, you see dancers, they're fit, they're swole, they can bust out anything. So, I might go with that. Singing-wise, I would just get, like, sore and, like, really annoyed by it super fast.
Yeah. What would be your signature dance move?
Ooh, probably the floss. I am a big fan of the floss. Just because it's simple and it's easy. And I was doing it before anyone else was. I was doing it my sophomore year of high school. I was before the one kid on the Miley Cyrus thing made it big. I was pre all of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it went that far.
Yep. Boom. Trendsetter.
Maybe.
What about you?
I think I'd have to go dance. I don't know. Either one's not a great option. But yeah, probably dance.
Okay.
Oh, my eyes getting blurry.
That's fair. And what about you, Sam? The third Sam.
The third Sam. I don't know. You know what? Straight up dance and just do the stanky leg all the way through. All the time. Just straight up bust it out. You know?
Dude, we had a kid in our high school who could do a stanky leg so good. He literally won our talent show with a 10-second bit of just doing the stanky leg.
Okay, so don't think too badly of me, but I don't know if I know what that actually is.
What?
You just kind of stick your leg off to the side, and then you just kind of like roll it a little bit.
For people that can't see, he's doing the stanky leg right now.
I know, we always do these like dance things on here. Yeah, it doesn't translate overly well.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so that's the stanky leg. Do you want to try it?
No.
Please.
No.
Come on, Sam, you got this.
I gotta bust an ankle. Can't do it.
He's college. He's on the injury list.
You got 2 ankles.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Oh, man. Well, welcome back, everybody, to another amazing week on the Sam's Midnight Ramblings. And this time, it's even extra Sam's Midnight Ramblings because we got our good friend Sam here with us.
Sup?
Yeah.
Cubed
So,
fun.
get ready for cubed.
Get ready for what?
Get ready for cubed fun.
Cube fun.
Tonight.
We're going 3D on this one.
3D.
Yeah. So, 3 things about our friend Sam. He has a podcast of his own. So this is our first like legit collaboration. This is crazy.
Second podcaster, but first real podcast.
Well, Sam also has extended experience beyond just a podcast.
Hold on. You guys are doing pretty good. I'm not gonna. You guys are good, okay?
We beat him to the podcast game, just
barely. I get 1 episode ahead, but that's fine, you know.
But yeah. So yeah, feel free, go check out his stuff. We'll link him in the description of everything. So that's one thing. Second thing is he's from Texas.
Yes, sir.
Good old boy. And then third thing is he served your mission in Salt Lake. I couldn't remember if it was Ogden or Salt Lake.
Yeah,
but yes.
I served my mission in good old Salt Lake City, Utah.
Wait, which mission?
The Utah Salt Lake City mission.
Okay.
That's what it was called. So for people familiar with the Salt Lake area, the bottom border was 1,700 and 2,200 south.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. And then the Kaysville-Layton border, then Airport Mountains.
Wow.
And so it was super small, but we were the second highest English-speaking baptizing mission in the world.
That's crazy.
Nice.
And so I got to experience a lot of crazy things. I had Thanksgiving dinner with Elder Gong.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I'm already
I covered Elder Cook's ward, and I got to meet him right before General Conference.
Gosh.
I was there when President Monson passed away. I was serving in downtown Salt Lake when President Monson passed away, yeah.
Whoa.
And so
Wait,
I
were you
didn't
able to actually go to the funeral in person?
No, I didn't go to the funeral. My mission president told us no one go out because there was lots and lots of protesters and stuff like that there.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's
And
crazy
they
to
kind of
think
closed the funeral for immediate family and friends, immediate and the apostles and stuff like that. And so because they didn't want to make it a huge grandiose thing, right?
Yeah.
And so and then met the presiding bishop of
Bishop Cassé?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He scared us actually because this is a little bit. So we went and did baptisms I have a buddy of mine who works for church security.
Oh,
right?
wow.
And so he lives in the same apartment complex as the prophet does.
That's so sick.
Anyways, and so we did his names for him at the Salt Lake Temple back in the day when it was open, right?
Yeah.
And so I go over there, and he's working in the church headquarters. Technically, that's outside my mission boundaries.
Because I guess Temple Square is its own mission.
Yeah, Temple Square is its own mission, and the headquarters mission was its own mission. Yeah, and so because it was service mission, then proselyting mission, and the service mission in the Family History Center.
Why?
Yeah, it was like he had like three or four missions in like one area of Salt Lake.
Oh my God.
And so it was like literally it was like a Tuesday before conference.
Mm-hmm.
We go and give him his names, and then all of a sudden, me and my companion feel like two giant hands touch us on our shoulders, and we just turn around and just go, "Hi." Bishop.
Oh, dude, he's huge.
And he is super cool guy though.
Yeah.
Super cool. So yeah.
Dang, dude.
Wow,
that's sick. Man, wild stuff. Golly. See, that's where like my dad, he served Salt Lake City South as well, which he thought was funny because he was at BYU when he got his mission call. So he literally just like looked out the window and was like,
that would be terrible.
Well,
We had someone from St. George serving in our mission.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he grew up in St. George. Also, another fun fact, we had all 12 and the First Presidency within my mission boundaries.
Dang.
The senior missionaries that I had was David A. McConkey and his wife, if you know who David A. McConkey is.
It's a very popular name.
Yeah, well, so he used to be the second counselor in the General Sunday School presidency back in the day. And so I got his personal Facebook account. No, I'm not giving it to you guys.
Rude.
Super cool guy. One time we were leaving the Cheesecake Factory because they love to spoil us.
Ooh.
We were leaving the Cheesecake Factory and we look over.
Wait, was City Creek in your mission then?
Yeah, City Creek was in the mission.
Okay.
Technically just outside my boundaries, but my mission president gave us a little wiggle room.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, so we look over at a white car right next to us. I'm not going to specify the car because the reason behind it is look over right next to us and it's Elder Holland driving his car back to his house.
Oh my God.
And then he proceeds to drive us to Elder Holland's house.
We're stalking you, Elder Holland. I hope that's okay.
And the two of the missionaries that I had in my mission group with the senior missionary, they covered Elder Holland's home ward.
Oh, wow.
And they got called in to meet with Elder Holland.
Wow.
And if you know the notorious thing with Elder Holland, he gathers up missionaries like for a mission conference or whatever, and then he shakes their hands, right? And then he says, okay, that one's going home, that one's staying, going home, needs to work, blah, 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 blah.
We had that in our mission.
Yeah. And so they were freaking out, and Elder Holland was just introducing himself, like, thanks for being missionaries here. It's like,
Is there anything I can do to better just everything about me right now?
Can you speak to our mission president?
Yeah.
And had
crazy.
a mission-wide like a mission meeting in the Joseph Smith Memorial Building. There's a chapel in there.
Yeah.
And it was with Elder Razvan.
Oh, that's sick.
Who is really short. He's like 5'6", 5'5".
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, that's what's always like crazy. Like you go and like you meet the apostle and you think they're just like this big, grandiose, giant person. You meet him and you're like, oh, you're just like normal.
Well, it's the funniest thing was he was standing right next to our mission president, who is 6'5".
It's just like, well done, Elder.
It's just like
little head pat.
We only had one missionary in my mission that was taller than President Sminlove. President Sminlove said no, like everyone can give him a hug except for if you're taller than him.
That's so.
And no one gave President Sminlove except for Elder Hunt, who was 6'7".
That's
and
crazy.
and his wife is 6'3",
Oh wow!
And so they're all tall, and all their kids are taller than they are.
Jeez.
Yeah,
wow.
they're massive family.
Dang.
Yeah, I think it's like 4 kids in total, but they're all just giants.
Holy cow! That's so awesome. Though. I love that.
They now live here in Utah. I go and see them once every couple of years just to see how they're doing.
Yeah, always good to stay in touch.
Yeah.
Well, was there anything in our introduction that we missed out on? Is there anything you'd like to further expound upon?
Well, no, the podcast that I run is not exactly what you guys do.
Slightly different topics.
My podcast is talk about horror characters. After I just talked about all the great things I did on my mission, now we're going to segue into this, right? I talk about horror content. It's not for the faint of heart. There are some certain words that might pop up. But what we essentially do is we'll watch like a movie, right? We'll watch a horror movie, and then we'll kind of take notes during it, and then we'll talk about that movie for that podcast. We'll kind of go over it, talk about different scenes. It's not only because we love the horror movie genre. We just we talk about specifically like the filmmaking of that movie, right?
Gotcha.
And kind of encourage more people to watch that certain film.
Yeah.
So that's
I
what we do.
heard an interesting thing the other day where it was talking about that horror, the horror genre is where a lot of directors and any people really start their
Jennifer
process.
Aniston, who everyone knows from Friends, first ever movie, leading role, Leprechaun, which is a horror movie.
No way.
Yep. Jamie Lee Curtis, first ever starring role was in Halloween.
Wow.
Yeah, and so a lot of these famous actors, actresses, things like that, like Danny Trejo roles were originally in horror because Danny Trejo.
Yeah, that's fair.
Things like that. It's like a lot of people get their start in horror because here's the thing with the horror genre. I'm pretty sure you guys don't watch any of it, but it's it's a big spectrum, right? And so we kind of go through that. We talk about really good ones and really bad ones, right? And so some of them that just direct to DVD that were bad at the time but now become cult classics.
Yeah.
And so we just do that. I have a co-host. It's called Nightmare Talkers. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that out loud.
Go ahead.
You can bleep it out if you want.
Nope, shout it out. Just don't say his last name.
It's Sam. Anyways, no, but that's what it is. We do it weekly. Comes out every Friday except for this Friday, or whenever this is uploaded. It comes out every Friday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So, I got a good group. I got my own co-host. They live in another state. I got my own editor who lives in a completely other state.
Got it going.
He's a real professional here.
And fun fact, my editor was going through a grocery store down in Texas. That's where he lives. He doesn't mind if I say that. He was in Texas. And the cashier was checking him out. He's like, wait a minute, I think I've seen you before. And he's like, oh, really?
Way.
Where? And he was like, are you on Nightmare Talkers? You're the
editor?
And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, what?
You've gotten the third person just out of public recognition?
Yeah, it's insane.
That's
and I told him next time you see that cashier, call me. And I want to personally talk to that cashier.
Yeah, seriously.
Because we're not that big, right?
No.
We're working on it,
Yeah.
right? Because we just barely started. I think we're at 28, 29 subscribers.
Yeah.
I think maybe over 1,000 views on the channel so far.
No, that's great.
Since starting in February.
Yeah,
so,
that's super good.
Yeah. So that's the podcast thing that I do. And what was the other? Oh, I'm from Texas. Yeah.
Yeah. Good old Texas.
I grew up out in a ranch, 98.5 acres out in Texas.
Oh, so nice.
I raised horses, so I raised some horses, raised some cattle. We didn't do a lot of ranching, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I learned how to, garden. I learned how to do and my dad. Speaking of the Texas and working and stuff like that, my dad had me work for him for his company at 12 years old as an installer.
Oh, man.
I probably got fired 6 times during that time. He was supposed to pay me. Never did.
It's like you're paying for your rent.
Yeah, no. But it taught me how to work and where I'm at today. So, and also, fun fact, I'm adopted at 10 years old.
Hey, I did not know that.
You said you get a lot of lore from people.
I do, man. Every single time. It's insane.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I didn't really start out in a on a ranch. I grew up in a trailer park and then moved to a ranch.
Hey, and welcome back to the trailer park. Oh man, that's crazy. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
Man, see, this is the problem. We try to prepare for these things and try to write question or whatever, but then people come on and they say these things and I'm like, I had no idea. How am I ever supposed to prepare for this type of stuff? Yeah. Dang, that's wild.
Oh my gosh.
Golly.
The other Sam's being really quiet.
He's contemplating the questions.
Oh, more questions, Sam?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Speaking of which, you want to throw the first one out?
Yeah. Since we all have Sams here, I'm curious to know, why did your parents... You can answer first, Sam.
Why? This is not going to be confusing at all.
How did you get the name Sam? And is it short for Samuel, or is it just Sam?
Unfortunately, it's short for Samuel.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of being called that full name. I don't know why I was called Sam, because... I don't know why I was named Samuel, because a little more lore and sadness. My biological mother was a drug addict and things like that, and so... biological father, alcoholic. They just had several kids together, and I don't know why I was called Sam. It was probably easy, It was probably just like, Sam. We'll put that on
right
there.
Down.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that. I mean, I could probably look it up, but Samuel's for the time period that we were all born, I feel like it's a popular name.
Yeah.
I just there's a bunch.
Good old 1900s. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I looked up in Hebrew, Samuel. In Hebrew stands for called of God.
It's an intense one.
Yeah. Well, because you got in the Bible, Samuel the prophet, who got when he was younger got called of God 3 times.
As an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's definitely not high standards that we have to live by to this day, right?
Nothing to live up to. Rockin' Samuel Lamanite.
Yeah.
No.
No.
They're all minor names. But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I know for me, because it is Samuel, and my family called me Samuel, but then everyone else just calls me Sam, and I don't care. You want to come up to me and call me Jimmy Jump, I don't care. Whatever you call me.
New name is Billy Bob. I got it.
That's fair.
Right.
I have an entire list of nicknames. I think it's 30 long now.
What?
Yeah, it's a long one.
How do you have that many nicknames?
They're just all over the place, man.
And you have them written down.
Oh yeah, I have a list. Here we go.
Yeah, I have a list.
Podcast exclusive. Here is all of my nicknames. Let me see if I can find it.
Sheesh, I never knew that someone just write down all of their nicknames before.
Here we go.
I can't say my nicknames on this podcast.
That's right. I don't include those. So we have Sam, which is a nickname. We have Adam Sambler. We have Samuel Adams, Samuel Jackson, Samuel the Lamanite, Samuel the non-Lamanite, Sammy Big S, Slambler, Sam, Legs, Samantha, Howard, Ambler Alert. I do like that one. That's a fun one.
That's okay.
The all-seeing eye of Samron. And then they were at work, they would just combine the first letter with my last name to be a shortened version of something. So we have Wambler, which means whiny ambler. We have Bambler, which means bad ambler. We have Mambler, which is mad ambler. And we have Astronaut Sam, Sambert, Swiss Army Tool. Yeah.
I've been called Samwise Gamgee a few times.
Oh, that's another great one. I have not been called that
really?
one.
What? That one.
That was the most popular nickname.
I also have...
I just don't have his personality. I'm not cool enough to be...
I guess I'm just used to throwing rings in the volcano. I have that face.
I'm trying to think. I go by Sam. No one calls me Samuel except some family members. And I only thought it was my dad occasionally, but my younger sister will also do it sometimes, which is kind of weird.
Got a little spunky.
Yeah, for most people it's Sam, but I haven't called Samwise Gamgee. I think other than that one, probably Samson is one of the more common ones.
How have I not gotten these?
And then I've had a couple.
You're just not as cool as me and Sam.
Others, dependent on the person, but Mine, I got named Samuel because it was the only name my parents could agree on. But come to find out, on my dad's side, I do have a great something grandpa. I could probably find it, but I don't know if I want to. Who is also named Samuel.
Oh, interesting.
And same last name and everything. So, and the last name spelled correctly.
That's the important part.
That is very.
That was kind of cool, but they didn't know that, so it was literally just the only name that they could decide on.
That's crazy.
But going to the popularity, I was doing some research on ourbabynamer.com, so very credible source. That since let's see. It's been a top 100 placer since the Social Security Administration began keeping records in 1880. So it's a top 100 male name.
Top 100 forever.
It reached in 1880 its highest popularity ranking of 17.
Wow.
Was reached. Let's see. Yeah, in 2018. We had a 21st ranking for Samuel.
Okay. And it just hangs around.
Yeah, it's never going away. They can call it an old person name all you want.
No.
Listen here, you youngsters, you ain't taking our name away.
Well, it did say that there was some decrease in the early 20-teens, 2011-ish.
Yeah, we don't talk about that anyways.
But apparently in 1995 it was ranked 33rd among male names.
Okay. Not that high, huh?
And in the state of Minnesota, it ranked in 2000 in the top 5 most popular.
Of all places, Minnesota.
Get your bag and my baby boy.
That's what AI overview gave me.
There's only 3 people that live in Minnesota, so it would make sense it made the top 5.
Yeah, that's true. That's true also. Wild stuff.
Anything further north from us, just no one lives there.
It's always cold. Apparently Sam's reigns supreme in the cold areas.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
It's okay. There's some good Samuel lore for everybody.
I will say, when in high school, there were probably at least 5 Sams in my class.
See, this is what is crazy.
And in my friend group, 2 of them were girls. There were Samanthas. They just went by Sam.
Yeah.
I dated a Samantha.
We had 3 girl Sams in my friend group at one point, and then there was me.
Jeez.
And then all the other ones were just guys in our high school.
Jeez. Yeah. I know. See, that's what's weird. It wasn't until 2 years ago I was ever around another Sam.
Really?
Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Because, it just never happened, and now they're coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah, no, the funny thing is almost every single job I've had, I've been the only Sam at all of those jobs.
Yeah. Yeah,
which is insane. And then, same thing in church. I was the only Sam until, 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to think, I'm thinking most of my wards since my mission, there's been at least one other Sam.
Wild.
That's insane.
Yeah, because I'm the same way. Barely anybody is ever called Sam.
It's not a very popular name in Texas. Because you can't really do it with Samuel.
That's because you get more into the Hispanic. Samuel. Speaking of Hispanic, I made tacos today. That's a completely random note. He did. I saw a picture of them. They look pretty good. Let me share this goodness with you.
He was telling me about it on the ride over.
Yeah, I explained it to him. How I made it,
Wow, those do look good.
They do look way good.
I learned how to learn how to cook.
Let me describe it for our listeners. So we got some nice corn tortillas. We got some nice steak with some taco seasoning on it. And then some onion, is that banana peppers?
Bell peppers.
Bell peppers. And then some jalapenos.
Fire roasted jalapenos, technically, and put it on the coil of the oven, of the stove, and
you roasted it. Yeah. No, it looks so good.
With salsa verde and threw some lime on top of it.
Yeah, it looks so good.
Yeah.
This was right before I was about to eat are like burritos, and they were very simple burritos.
You see that, you're just like, bro.
Man, I could use some of those ingredients to pop them in mine.
You're just like, hey, Sam, you come over a little bit early today?
Yeah, could you bring over some jalapenos and maybe some bell peppers? That'd be sick. Yeah. I don't know. I have a weird thing about peppers.
What's your weird thing about peppers?
It's just a couple years ago, our sister and brother-in-law came up, and then he made us some fried chicken. Not fried chicken. He just cooked chicken with some peppers, and so we ate them. And then for whatever reason, like me and my sister just got insanely sick. To the point where it's like 2 in the morning, and we lived in a house. I lived on the main floor, she lived on the second floor, but the bathrooms are like right above each other. And so like I go in there, I'm just going crazy on the toilet, and she then texts me, she's like, "You down there too?" Because apparently at the same exact time we're both just
no, for me it was like,
so that ruined peppers but not chicken?
No, because well, like the peppers came back out just entirely.
Oh god,
full peppers flying out.
Okay, I don't know if I knew that.
See, me, it was a few years ago, back right before I was married, so I was married before. My ex-father-in-law, he raised his own jalapenos. And he gave me one. I've eaten jalapenos just out. They're not as spicy as people think they are.
Yes, they are.
Sam grew up in Idaho.
Yeah.
Potatoes are his thing.
You gotta text it into Colorado.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah, they're in a fierce battle with like New Mexico, who has the
spiciest chili.
Yeah, it is insane.
The main town that's like a big part of it is 30 miles away from my hometown.
Yeah, it's insane. It's a straight up battle.
It's a big thing.
Well, there's multiple things wrong with that, but continue.
Anyways, and so he was like, eat this, and like my ex-wife was like, no, don't do it, and like everyone else was saying don't do it, and I was like, nah, Mama didn't, blah 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 blah. And I just straight up took it, ate the whole thing right then and there. It was probably infused with something, but it hit me so fast, I started crying. I ate the whole thing. I didn't back out. I was supposed to go to a friend's house that night to like do like a sleepover at a friend's house that night.
Yeah.
And then I realized I accidentally touched under my eye during the whole thing because I went back to my house to go take a shower beforehand, and the steam hit, and then it felt like my lips were melting off, and then underneath my eye it felt like it was about to melt off, and I was dying. I was dying.
Oh my god.
Oh, and they were laughing like the whole time.
Oh, gosh, that's so painful, dude.
But he loved pulling those kinds of pranks on me, I guess. He wanted to see how good I was for the family.
How far you can push it. Oh my god.
Did he realize I'm an idiot?
There's always a point you have to reach.
I was the guy in high school that other people would run around with habanero peppers and say, "Here, eat this." Bet.
I had just one like cross section of a jalapeno, not even that big, on my mission, just like a raw one, and it I don't remember exact response, but I just remember it was so hot, and I was like, if that's a jalapeno, I can't do anything hotter.
But going back to that Colorado versus New Mexico thing, here's my thing. Okay, don't get mad. I love the flavor of the Colorado chili, but New Mexico is spicier. They have better flavor in Colorado, but they have more spice in New Mexico.
Chili is not a great
Chile.
It's different. It's just out on a grilled.
Yeah, it is a log jalapeno
and
grilled.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But my thing is, do you want to have something and just feel hot? Or do you want to enjoy it?
That's why I never
go for the flavor.
Yeah, that's why I never go for like the spiciest thing over at B-Dubs.
Exactly.
You know?
It's
not worth the free T-shirt.
No, it's not. Like, you're gonna lose the amount of water from your body sweating it out that costs the same cost as the freaking T-shirt.
One of my companions did that on the mission. He did that really spicy B-Dub challenge on P-Day. Because he knew he had to do it on P-Day, otherwise he couldn't do it. Because he knew he would be gone for the rest of the day.
So true. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Let's do a new question. Oh, you said it was on here. I just queued out for you. Okay, what is one question that you wished more people would ask you?
I don't really know. People ask me a lot of questions.
Fair.
Just because I am a little bit different than everybody else in the ward, I guess. I don't know.
That's also fair.
I'm that one guy that watches horror movies and listens to metal music and, you know, working on his swear words, but accidentally lets them slip out at church and things like that. But not during. Let me specify this real quick. Not during church. But anyways, like I'm just a little bit different. So people have asked me like weird questions. I don't know. I think maybe a question is like probably it's like where have you like what has been your growth, or if you were to change anything in your past, would you? Because I've had that question a few times, not a whole lot.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, my past is not the prettiest past, right? I was abused in all kinds of ways. You would throw a trigger warning on here for people listening.
Yeah.
You know, but you see, that comes with experience on a podcast and content experience. But anyways, I was abused in all kinds of ways growing up and things like that. But people, I think if only a few people, but like other people have asked, like, so what would you change, right? And I want to ask that to you guys, but for me to answer that question is I wouldn't change a thing. Not a single thing, because what I went through helped me become the man that I am today. Right? All the struggles in life, everything, ranging from when I was a kid to after moving to Utah, everything, right, has made me who I am today. And one of the best things is I got to see what an actual father is compared to what a father is not, right? Because I love my parents to death. Do we fight? Yes. What kid doesn't fight with their parents? Maybe not this Sam over here. You know, he seems like he's like the favorite, right?
Oh, stories I could tell.
But you know, it's like at the end of the day, you know, my case is a little bit different from you guys because they chose to keep me, right? They chose to keep me, and so then when me and my dad kind of get into a little argument, he gets mad, and I'm like, hey, you made this choice, and I hang up the phone. But in all seriousness, it's like, yeah, I would never change a thing. Like people are like, so wouldn't you like to, you know, be where, you know, put with your parents now, blah, blah, blah. So I don't think I would ever have the experiences that I had growing up without it, right? Because I've seen the wrong side of the world and the right side of the world, right? And one real quick story, another fun fact, I was actually baptized in the church a month before I moved in with my parents.
Oh, wow.
They had no idea who I was. The church didn't know who, like, you know, the other people. There's only one other person in my church. His name is Ed. I'm not going to put the last name. His name is Ed. Love that man to death. He was the one who baptized me, and then a month later I moved in with my parents. Now, I was adopted through Child Protective Services, so they just throw you to whoever.
Yeah. Right,
and it just so happens I get baptized in the church a month before I move in with my parents.
Wow.
Who, I'm just saying, is that a coincidence?
Yeah, dang.
So now to reverse the question back onto you guys, if you were to change anything in your past, jokingly or not jokingly, if you were to change anything in your past, would you change anything?
Oh, man, that's such a good question.
It's a loaded question.
It is a very loaded question. I think there might be a couple of things that, it's like...
Ex-girlfriends don't count.
Shoot, that was a big one.
I'm kidding.
Oh, man, no. But, like, I do think there are probably a couple of things where it's like... Like, don't get me wrong, I am of the same opinion. I am where I am because of what I've gone through, and I'm okay with that. But at the same time, there are one or two things where it's like, had I made a different decision, or had I been, like, a little more on top of it one day, like, what could have happened in the interim? But then again, I also dive a lot into like what ifs and like it could have been.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda is like
the most dangerous
big
combination
thing that I have going on in my head. And so that's how I'm working through, getting over it, just trying to be like, I am who I am, things are the way they are, and the only thing I can change is the future.
Yeah.
So, no, but that is a great mentality to have with it.
Other Sam?
Yeah, I would definitely change some things.
I love this progress.
I think the things I would change, I don't think it would affect me. I think I'd still be in a similar place.
Okay.
Oh.
Interesting. I like that though.
Yeah, I'd like you guys. Those are great answers. Me, I don't know, and I don't want to think. If I go into too many, like in my life, if I go down what if road, I'm not leaving what if road for a while. Yeah. And so because I had a little bit more experience than you guys, slightly, just a little tiny bit. No.
Very fair. Yeah. But I do like that. I think that is just a good thing in general. Just like the what ifs are always going to be there. What ifs could always exist. The only thing is like just you are who you are. You know where you're at. You know how far you've come.
Well,
keep going.
Here's another good thing. It's I don't know when this episode's coming out, but we're recording this like on Easter week, right? Easter week. There was someone that dealt with all the stuff that you went through, and it's just like, for me, not to throw you guys down onto the ground about changing your past, right?
Fine, people do that to me.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it might take you a little bit longer to get to the ground. You're up there. Yeah. Long legs. Anyways. But like there, Good Friday's coming up, right? Mm-hmm. This will be out on.
Yep,
this will be out on Good Friday, right?
Coming out right after, yeah.
Yeah, and what happened? Well, even tonight, what happened? Obviously it's not exactly the exact week, but what happened? He went into the garden, right, and then took on all the sins, transgressions, pain, sufferings, and all that stuff. And for me, in my head, it's like if I were to change anything, that would invalidate some of the stuff that he did, right? That would invalidate some of the stuff Jesus Christ did, because it's like, I don't care, and for me, and you guys, but like I don't care what you did for me. I'm going to go and change it so it wouldn't happen ever again, But it's like, I don't know. For me, it's like he knows me best just because he went through all that stuff. Mm-hmm. He knows exactly what I've went through, what I'm doing, what's going to happen in the future, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, and also again, learning lessons and things like that, I went through the school of hard knocks.
hard knocks.
Yeah. Only 8, only 10 concussions later, right?
Oh man.
But again, not to invalidate what you guys
you're good.
said whatsoever.
Because that goes along the same lines of like from your mentality, that is the best thing for you, is keep that mentality. Like, I am who I am, I'm going to keep moving forward, and nothing should change. But I do really like that perspective of, like, we should be grateful for the experience that we've gone through, because there's someone that's also been there with us through it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good way to look at it. Really grounded, really just helpful. But speaking of Easter, do you have any Easter traditions?
I do.
Your question. I knew it.
You just straight up stole his question.
So sorry.
Easter tradition for me is, so what we did growing up is we would have like an Easter egg hunt, the day before, like on Saturday, because we never did it on Sunday, and then we would go to church 1 hour, then come home, and then we would host like a big Easter dinner. We would go over the last week of the Savior's life, mortal life, talk about that, watch some videos and things like that. I haven't really transitioned that into my own. I'm working on it, but that's what we did growing up. Because it's really big down where I grew up. Like Easter week is like the South. It's huge.
It's way big.
Yeah. And so there's even presentations. You can go to the local Baptist church and watch, like, they'll do a straight up presentation and stuff like that. And so it's like, there's lots of things that I did growing up, and I'm working on it, but it's typically What I typically do is I like to sit down. I forgot specifically in the Bible where it talks about in detail everything that happened, in the garden and on Calvary's Hill and all that stuff. I like to sit down and read it, and just sit there and then sit in silence and think about it.
Yeah.
Because it's
yeah. No, that's super great. I love that.
I try to anyway. Sometimes I completely forget.
It's hard. I know definitely since coming up here, I've definitely struggled with getting Easter traditions just started and maintaining them. So.
It's also really hard to do when you're single because it's just That's when you just find friends.
It's true.
You start Easter tradition with friends.
That's true.
It's really good to do because I know one time back a few years ago, I joined some friends for their Easter tradition. I made lots of really good friends in a city called Ogden, Utah. I don't know who outside of the state, listens to this,
Ogden.
but just to
only those in Russia.
And so weird. But in Ogden, right? I made a huge group of friends, and that's what we would do. So we started the Easter tradition there, and Christmas tradition, Thanksgiving, all that stuff.
All the fun ones. That's awesome. I like that. Do you have any fun traditions?
Yeah, actually. The last couple years, on Easter Sunday, I've watched, it's called The Lamb of God. It's
I like that one.
I've been to your house to watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Lamb of
really?
Yeah.
It is
last
a
year.
tradition.
Wild.
So The Lamb of God was written by Rob Gardner. It's an oratorio, so it tells the story of Christ's last week through song as well as some narration. It is honestly so good.
It's beautiful.
Wow.
We it's not a recent thing. We had a CD of it of the production growing up, and so at least by the time I was in high school, I know I was listening to it. This is a funny story. I listened to it so much. So my younger brother Ethan, who's been on the podcast, I used to drive him to school when I was in high school, and I would listen to that CD. We listened to it so much that he doesn't like it. He refused to listen to it on the mission when his companions would have it, and I ruined it for him. But I love it so much. So a couple years ago, I think probably 2020, 2021, they created a film, and so now every Easter Sunday I watch it.
I actually have a buddy who's in that film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's part of the choir in the back.
Wild.
I also have a friend who's in the choir.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was on my mission.
I don't have a friend that was in the choir. In case anybody was wondering.
Celebrity. No, we know celebrity.
It is so good. I have to stop myself from listening to it throughout the year, especially as Easter gets closer, just so that I can be ready for just enjoying it so much.
That's so awesome. I love that.
Yeah, I remember going there last year, and I think a couple of my other friends came with, and that was pretty cool.
Huh.
He had it on a projector. We all just kind of vegged out in his living room.
What was I doing?
I might not have known you that
What day was that on?
Easter Sunday.
Well, what was the actual date?
You would know the date, but you don't know what you're doing on Easter? Here, let me look.
Well, it depends on if it was on my birthday or not.
You were probably down with family or something like that.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
Was it on the 7th or was it on the 31st? Okay, so he was on my birthday, so I had family come and visit me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did we just miss your birthday?
Yeah.
I feel like a terrible friend.
Oh, don't feel bad.
Happy birthday.
Hot takes.
Happy belated birthday.
Yeah,
way belated.
Yeah, oh shoot. Secrets out on the podcast.
We are horrible friends.
No, that's a funny thing. I forever thought that I was born on Easter Sunday. Because forever I thought that, because I was born on a Sunday, and I was anytime my birthday is on a Sunday, it's Easter Sunday. And then I went back, and I found out It was Palm Sunday, and Easter was on the 7th. It was like the only time it ever happened. And I was like, what the? I've been living a lie my entire life. And it was a lie I told myself.
It's okay. Look, on this podcast, we get over childhood trauma.
Yeah, you're right. You
want me to go get the tissues? Hey, look,
let's
there's paper towel.
Really break this one down.
There's paper towel right here. It's not the greatest thing, but we can use that.
Yeah. That's a good crazy stuff. Any questions?
Sheesh.
Is that still yours?
No, you're good. Alright, since we're still on the holiday theme, if you had to invent a holiday, what would you celebrate?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
Outdoor sports holiday sounds like a lot of fun.
Sounds like something we're celebrating, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a great holiday.
I think I'm just saying, like, a day dedicated to just outdoor sports, like mountain biking.
Yeah.
Professional BMX, motocross, supercross, things like that. Kind of. I don't know. I had a cousin who was in Supercross. Like, he was the main mechanic for Yamaha Supercross and KTM Supercross, and also was on what's that? Nitro Circus.
Wow.
Yeah, back in the day. I didn't know him that well, but I used to have. I gave it to my aunt. My cousin passed away back in 2012, and so, but he gave me the first ever Supercross race I went to. It was in the old Texas Stadium before they built the Arlington Stadium in Arlington, or AT&T Stadium. And so I went to it before they demoed it.
Demoed that one.
And so the front plate on the dirt bike broke off, and so he got the driver to sign it and give it to me.
That's
because
sick.
we got backstage, we got back passes to go and look at the bikes and see all that stuff. But I think that would be kind of a cool day to also get people out.
I think it would get more people out, get more people interested in it.
Yeah, because like if you just like look at everything, because outdoor sports don't just mean rigorous stuff. You know, you could be just driving around in your ATV up on trails and things like that, right? It's like having
have a good day to go out and
so be more like not outdoor sports, say outdoor day, I guess, right? Go outdoors. It reminds me of what was that thing on Nick that they used to do 60 minutes a day,
of play or something.
Yeah, and they would shut off they won't show it. They would turn off the channel for an hour to force you to go outside.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, Disney Channel got a lot of views after that.
Yeah, no, that's true. Wild.
That's old school. That's old.
Yeah, we're old. But that's a good one. I feel like that holiday.
Yeah, outdoor day. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
That would make me go buy
May
a
I suggest Earth Day?
We already have
a holiday.
We already have Earth Day.
Earth Day's already holiday.
Earth Day's already a holiday.
But no,
would you want to expand that day? Because right now it's just kind of like Earth.
Yeah, more of environmental.
That would be actually sick if you could include that on that day.
Yeah.
Because then it gets people out going, actually enjoying Earth.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm going to get a slip and slide out, get a tarp, put it on a hill.
Yeah.
But actually, another fun fact, there's only one town in the U.S. that's called Earth. There's a town.
There's a town called Earth?
Yes, Earth, Texas. It's the only town in the entire United States that's called that.
Ham on
and
Earth
they throw a parade every Earth Day.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's sick. I love that.
And it's the town's 2,000 people or something like that. It's super small.
No, that's fair.
They throw a party every Earth Day. So you can go down to Earth, Texas if you want to celebrate Earth Day more,
Yeah. It's next Tuesday.
It's next Tuesday?
April 22nd.
I don't even know when it is. So how am I supposed to celebrate when I don't even know when it is?
I think it's on the calendars usually.
It's on my.
I think it's always April 22nd.
I think my holidays are turned off on my calendar. So I would definitely explain why I
have tax day on my calendar, but not Earth Day. So
you have tax day.
That's depressing for you. Yeah, I also have tax day.
I got Earth Day on my calendar.
Okay, I apparently need to expand my calendars.
So Sam, what's your holiday? What are you celebrating?
Let's celebrate landing on the moon day.
Actually, that's a good one.
But did we land on the moon? It looks pretty staged to me.
See, if we celebrated it, we could have more desire to go, and then you could go yourself.
Here's my question. Why are we doing more stuff to the moon? I feel like that was a big thing, We're over that.
We are, though. We are having a mission plan for next year.
Oh, okay.
So where we're going to send a crewed mission around it, and then the year after they're gonna land on it.
And then I think they're working on a mission to Mars as well.
That's why they're doing it, because they're building the whole ecosystem. Because they're gonna build a thing called Gateway, which is like a station. It's like the International Space Station, but around the moon, so that then you could fuel up
around the moon.
Or just like.
Oh, it's orbit. Okay, yeah. I was like a big.
Yeah, no,
we're not.
Like, are we Star Warsing this?
No, so actually, you're gonna look outside and you're just gonna see a halo ring.
Just around.
That's what I was thinking.
That would be wild.
Okay,
that
orbiting
would be
the moon.
Yeah,
Station
orbiting the moon, so that then you like fly to the moon, spend a little bit there, and then you go on to Mars.
That's crazy. That's
wild.
Because
they're trying to build a station, like an actual base on the moon itself. The biggest thing is we're just trying to beat the Chinese. So, Space Race 2.0.
Yeah, so back in that.
Now the question is, are they going to send Matt Damon with them when they go to Mars?
Matt Damon the bad guy, though?
No, Matt Damon was the good guy in The Martian.
I'm thinking of Interstellar.
No.
Oh, Matt Damon was the bad guy in Interstellar.
He was the bad guy in Interstellar.
He pulled us into Mars, not to a black hole.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about like in The Martian,
Yes.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah. Matt Damon Day.
Matt Damon Day.
No, here's the funniest thing. In high school, for some reason, we got on this Matt Damon kick. All of the guys just got on this Matt Damon kick. So every single time we hit like a home run in like baseball or whatever, it said, "For Matt Damon!" Things like we went on this huge Matt Damon kick. I think everyone watched like one of the Bourne movies or something like that, and so we just started celebrating Matt Damon in high school. It was like the weirdest thing.
The wildest thing. But that's great.
We got excited for Matt Damon.
That's great. I love
specifically for Matt Damon. They were like, how about Ben Affleck? Screw Ben Affleck. Matt Damon's the better Boston.
Matt Damon forever. That's so funny. Oh man, what's your holiday, Sam?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like if there's like an event in history or like someone that's like we don't remember or celebrate, but I'm coming up blank. The first thing honestly was like, what food do we need to celebrate?
Oh my god.
Burger Day.
Here's the question. They have a lot of national food days, but is that
true.
a holiday?
Should they just have food day as a holiday?
No.
Or you just get to spend all day eating food?
I was thinking maybe Potato Day. That was the one specific.
That's very Idaho of you, Sam. Very Idaho of you.
I'm glad you're representing you. You're doing very well.
Okay, then I get Taco Day because I'm Texas,
Yeah, sadly, if I'm not going the chili route, it's got to be Rocky Mountain Oyster Day.
No.
That's like, because either that or
Ron Podcast, Sam. Ron Podcast.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But yeah, maybe, I don't know.
That's a good one. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. Okay.
We'll go with that Potato Day.
Potato Day.
Coming here next year, 2026.
The Irish would love to celebrate that day.
No, the Irish already have St. Patrick's Day. We taking this one.
That's fair. They'll steal it back from us.
Somehow more drinking's involved on Potato Day.
So apparently National Potato Day is August 19th.
Oh, there is one.
But is that a holiday or just a national
day? That's just a national day.
What defines a holiday? Like a day off?
I think a day off.
Yeah, kind of like a governmental day off.
Here's the thing. Yeah. I love food, but I just don't. There's so much good food that we'd have to be off like every single day of the year.
Oh, bummer.
Sounds like someone's studying for that.
Okay, look at World Mosquito Day. Why do we have a World Mosquito Day?
Because mosquitoes are awesome.
Is it to learn about
maybe
how they can kill you?
Also, I've killed 2 mosquitoes in my apartment in the last 2 days.
Ooh. It's a good thing you're moving.
Yes.
Oh man, that's wild.
I think it's just to like learn more. Honestly, it's commemoration of British doctor Sir Ronald Ross's discovery in 1897 that mosquitoes transmit malaria between humans.
So they should have just called it Malaria Day.
Yeah.
I mean, we could, it could be worse.
Sir Ronald Ross Day.
Yeah. It could be worse. We could have those mosquitoes from like Jurassic Park, attacking you.
Huge ones. No, we're good. We'll stick with our little ones. Yeah. Okay. An hour.
Yeah. Do you want to finish with one question or?
Yeah, we do. Last question.
Here's a fast one. What's a movie quote that you quote the most often?
Ooh.
Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
I do that way too much. I use it all the time.
Oh, 100%. I use that all the time.
Yeah. Oh, is there any other good ones?
What you talking about, Willis?
What are you talking about, Willis? They're not coming to my mind right now because they're all very in the moment.
I love how it's like we have to now think about what movie quote.
I know
have
my movie
one?
quote.
You have one?
Go for it.
Yeah, it's modified. The quote is, hold on, I'm gonna mess it up. It's a good thing you're not a really big fat guy, else this would be really difficult.
Oh, yeah.
I modify it, and I say it's a good thing I'm not a really big fat guy. And I do it, it's situational, but at least a little while ago, I was in the situation a lot, is when I'm parking, and, like, you can't open the door fully, so you just have to, like
shimmy out of it.
Out. So, yeah, so I say that. That's probably the most one. I have another quote that I love saying, but it's kind of sad and inappropriate, probably.
Oh, we're getting risky on here.
Yeah.
You bring the other Sam, that's where you get the risky.
It's fine. I've already told people who listen to the podcast, so it's not going to be super rich for surprise for them. So, this comes from Star Wars Episode 3. Which I have a love-hate relationship with. It's one of my theatrical, like, sound effects, music, like,
beautiful.
CGI, amazing. Storyline, so sad. Every time I watch it, I'm like, my heart breaks.
That's the point.
I know, like, and it's so frustrating, though.
At least it's not the Disney trilogy.
Yeah, but it's when... It's in the last part when Anakin and the clones are storming the Jedi Temple.
Whoa.
I don't think it's Anakin.
Master Skywalker! There's too many of them! What are we gonna do?
Okay, here's the thing. I don't know if I've quoted it in a situation, because when are you going to do that?
When he's like the last man standing.
It's funny. I don't know.
Last man standing in dodgeball.
I think it's his accent that gets me.
Skywalker.
And so I just love saying that.
Oh my god.
I feel like a terrible person now.
That is wild. That's so funny though. I love
That's like the craziest thing I think I've ever heard Sam say.
The fact that's like one of his go-to quotes.
Okay, I don't know. Like, when are you gonna say that?
No. He loves that quote.
Oh,
that's why he loves that quote.
And so when I'm watching it, I always quote it with.
Oh my god!
I thought he was about to go like "hello there" or something like that. No, it's not.
Honestly, there's a lot of good quotes there. But like. It's very, like, I don't know, just watching it. I've seen it a lot, probably. It's probably the most Star Wars movie I've seen the most.
Dang.
To be honest.
I'm more of Attack on.
Attack of the Clones is a good one.
That
was a childhood favorite, mainly because that came out in my childhood.
Yeah, I watched in theaters.
But I don't think I've seen it in a long time. But the Anakin Padme scenes are horrendous.
I killed them all.
No, we fast forward to
the
those
women
kids.
and
children too.
Okay, we should. We're getting a little on the dark side of
it. We're getting on the dark side.
I know. I'm also the one ending it though.
I'm trying to think of any. I don't really know if I have like a go-to.
I just love the fact we went to like the nice, friendly.
Hey, I used Emperor's New Groove.
That's true. You did. You started off strong.
Yeah, you started off strong, and then it's like from like on the right, like way to the left.
I was giving you more time to think.
You're right. It didn't help because I just made fun of you.
But I'm glad you all knew the quote I was talking about right as I was saying.
Oh
we just quoted it along with you.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's not a good one. It's just, for whatever reason, it's
fantastic.
I think it's the accent.
Say that again.
It's a little kid in a British accent, or something like a British accent.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I have any.
Okay.
Because, like, I could pull a Lord of the Rings one, I could pull a Star Wars one, I could pull, like, a How to Train Your Dragon one. I do use the How to Train Your Dragon one a little bit.
Which one?
Where he's like, the sun was in my eyes, Astrid. Sorry, I can't block out the sun. I'm kind of busy right now. I'll do it next time. Anytime I, like, complain about anything outside, or, like, someone, like, bashed on me, I'm just like, I'm sorry, the sun was in my eyes. Look at, like, inside playing basketball. I'm like, oh, why'd you miss that? You're like, the sun was in my eyes.
That's funny.
Yeah. So maybe that one.
Okay. Great. Well, that's a fun ending.
Yeah. Wild.
Sam, what's life highlights? What's happening? Big moments in your life.
Yeah.
That you want to share with the world.
Sheesh, I don't know. I made tacos for a girl.
Oh,
yeah.
That was
even
better.
That was yeah. Way to sneak that in there.
So there. Yeah, I think that's my life is going pretty decently right now. It's not really a lot of boom, bang, chow, pow, highlights, but we're getting there. I did baptisms for the first time in, I don't know, years.
That's sick. I love that.
Which was pretty cool to do. But yeah, I'm probably the worst person for this part. I don't have a lot of...
Those were great. Those were great. I don't think anything wrong with those. Those are fantastic highlights. Yeah, nothing wrong with those. What about you, Sam? Any fantastic?
No, unfortunately not. I'm in the waiting game
Ugh.
with hearing back from companies that I've interviewed with and just seeing if I'm going to get another interview or final offer. And I've followed up with one of them, and I still haven't heard back. And I even asked questions that were not directly about the job, just that they could just answer, but they haven't. So I'm they either are just waiting until they know, or they're just ghosting me.
Oh,
that's not a highlight. That's just
depressing.
I don't think.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a life update.
Life update. We need your highlight, and then we can be depressing.
Yeah, apparently.
We can be depressing on here, guys.
So just waiting. So getting ready to graduate.
That is exciting.
Walk, I should say, not
That's
graduate.
True. That's fair.
Primitively celebrate my graduation.
There you go.
It's worth it.
Anything from you, Sam?
Anything from me? I planned a trip with my girlfriend. We're gonna go to South Carolina.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
No.
Are you gonna go to the beach there?
Yeah, we're gonna go to Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because she's graduating, and so we were trying to plan a trip. We couldn't really land on anything, but then we were both just I think we both just kind of want to chill and not do anything. So we're let's find a beach.
Yeah, let's go to South Carolina.
It's out of the way.
Good things about that.
We're far
other than hurricanes.
Yeah, so. Which I don't think it's gonna
hurricanes
happen.
aren't that bad.
Yeah, I don't think
it is a bucket list to go through a hurricane. So if it did happen, it wouldn't be.
Oh,
bad.
Dad, if you
bucket list to you?
Look, dude,
that is the worst bucket list item I think I've ever heard.
Hey, look, listen, Sam. If you want to go through a hurricane, just come with me back down to Texas during the summer. You'll go through a hurricane.
I know it's a dumb thing, but I do want it. I don't know. I like extreme weather. It's fun. I want to see a tornado. I want to experience.
Oh yeah, okay.
Just come with me. Seeing a tornado, but being in a tornado, having a tornado.
Come down to Texas, straight up during tornado season. Boom. Tornado barbecue party.
Honestly, just right now, just go to the south.
Oh,
they're having major storms.
It's true. It's very true. But no, so that's what we're doing. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna go right after Ragnar.
Right after what?
Ragnar. It's a race we're doing. Which Sam, we're not sure on. He's on the injury list.
I love Ragnar so much.
And this one's gonna be so much fun because it's just gonna be. I will
still come.
Good,
but just not run.
I'll bring a sign.
Yeah,
I'll be your volunteer.
That's true. But which is a little sneak peek. We're probably gonna do an episode down there during Ragnar.
That's insane.
So that'll be fun. You'll get to hear us go.
Yeah. And us coughing.
We'll put a mic up to you. Just put a mic up to you while you're running.
Do one leg. Do a whole leg.
I am the person who just does not talk during races.
Okay.
Everyone's just chatting it up, and I'm you're the competition. I want to destroy you.
He's got the
just the competitive edge.
Yeah. It's fair. But no, that'll be a good time. Yeah, cool. That's my life update.
Love it.
Cool.
It's a great one.
Send us out.
Okay, everyone, thanks for tuning in and joining us on this ride. If you've enjoyed it, had laughs, made the day go by a little faster, we'd invite you to subscribe either on Spotify or YouTube. Give us a 5-star review, leave a comment, follow us on Instagram at the Sam's Midnight Ramblings, and yeah, keep on rambling.